lot of discussion about a form of medical marijuana called Charlotte's Web. I'd never heard of it before this session. There are bills in the House and a bill in the Senate. You're one of the three sponsors to make Charlotte's Web available to people, children in certain circumstances. Talk about your bill that I think is being successfully moved through the Senate at this point about granting the use of Charlotte's Web to people under certain circumstances.
I tell you, this is a real tough issue for me. I'm a conservative. I have 3 teenagers. We talk to them all the time about the dangers of drug abuse and the dangers of drug use. And so when I embarked on looking at this issue, embarked on this journey of exploring this issue of medical marijuana and what is a reasonable use for it and what is not reasonable, I did so with much trepidation because I approached it as a parent who does not want to send the signal to my kids, to the children and families in the state of Florida, that we somehow condone drug use or abuse in any way, shape, or form. But I will tell you that the more time I spent with these parents of young children who are having literally hundreds of seizures a week, they suffer from intractable epilepsy, which means that modern medicine, as we know it, all FDA-approved products, do not work to cure these seizures that their children are suffering. We don't hear their voices beyond the age of 25 or so because they don't live often, usually, beyond the age of 25. And so when you listen to these parents and you hear their story and you understand that these are not individuals that are criminals, and if our laws in place right now would define these parents who are simply looking for compassionate treatment for their children, if our laws define them as criminals, that completely defies common sense, and that law should be changed. It's incumbent on us to explain to the people of the state of Florida the very clear distinctions that we're making. What we're talking about here is an extract of cannabis that is in oil form that's dropped under the tongue of a child, which has been shown in instances around the United States to provide relief from these seizures. The Senate and the House are taking a couple of different approaches to the issue. The House really is focusing on simply decriminalizing that strain of cannabis. We've taken a little more robust approach. We not only decriminalize that small subset of cannabis, non-smokable cannabis, we've not only decriminalized it, but we've set up a regulatory scheme around it so that we are tracking through the Department of Health who's using it, who is dispensing it. We're requiring a physician to be involved in this process, and we are limiting it to just these cases where you have young people, children, who are suffering from intractable epileptic seizures. This is a starting point of a discussion that we're going to have, I anticipate, throughout this session. We've already heard voices from people who not only suffer from epileptic seizures, but are reaching end of life when it comes to terminal diseases, and they have concerns about providing themselves with relief and providing their family members with relief. And this is going to be an ongoing discussion that we're going to have, and it's an important discussion to have as a state.